What's going on, everybody? David here from Bluckers Videos and Toys, and today we are going to be checking out the WWE Elite Collection Kevin Nash from the Monday Night Wars line that Mattel did back in 2023. And very happy to have this Kevin Nash. I found him at one of my local Walmarts, and I mean, at that time when the Monday Night Wars line started to hit stores, the first couple of lines, you could not find them anywhere. And then once as time went on, probably after the first couple, 2 or 3 waves, you could finally find them in the stores. But man, that first couple of waves were hard as shit to find. So when I saw Kevin Nash, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be my only time to see it. So I'm snagging while I can. And mainly because this is pretty significant history for me as far as this particular figure goes, because on this day he came back 30 years ago to WCW as the second member of the NWO. So June 10th, 1996 was the day at the time of this recording and upload. 30 years, we find out who the second member is. So then later on here at Bash at the Beach, 30 years ago, we find out who the third one is. So that was exciting times back in the being a wrestling fan back then, because there was a lot of movement going on around that time. So, like I said, very happy to have this figure in the collection. And see, this is what I'm talking about, which we'll do a comparison here in a minute. But finally, when we got this figure, we got an actual WCW microphone. So, but let's go ahead and kickstart this review. All right, so we have the WWE Elite Collection here on the top left-hand corner, ages 8 and up. That's me. And then you got the WWE logo right there, and then True Effects lifelike detail logo there, and then you got a picture of Kevin Nash on the left-hand corner. And then you got in the middle of the packaging, you got the figure in the open style window. And then you got Kevin Nash right there. And then here at the bottom left-hand corner, you got the Mattel logo along with Teddy Long, who is the Build-A-Figure for this particular wave. Again, for this particular wave, this Kevin Nash figure is pretty much the only one I really wanted out of the wave. So, but this particular wave, you get to make a Teddy Long, which is pretty cool. And then here you got the Monday Night Wars WWE versus WCW logo. And then on the side of the packaging, like I said, here's Nitro June 10th, 1996, WCW. Here's Kevin Nash. And then you get the WWE Elite Collection logo right there. And then here at the next side, you get the WWE Elite Collection right there. And then you got the Monday Night Wars logo there, along with the certified authentic logo there, which is like a little hologram. And then you got Kevin Nash. And then here at the bottom, here's all the copyright information stuff. So, and then here on the back of the packaging, we get Kevin Nash right there, who is from Detroit. He's 6'10", weighs 298 pounds, and the finisher is the Jackknife Powerbomb. And then you got the Monday Night Wars logo there, and then the Elite logo right there. And then you got a picture of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash talking. And then here is the important date, if you want to pause and read that. So, basically revealing himself as the second member of the NWO. And then here is the wave figures. I almost did get this one, the fake Diesel, but I didn't. There was plentiful of him. I know that. But then you got Triple H, Kevin Nash, and Rey Mysterio. But like I said, the only one I really wanted was Kevin Nash, so I'm happy I just got that. And then here is the Build-A-Figure Teddy Long. So, very cool. All right, so let's go ahead and take some time and open this box up and take him out the packaging. All right, here's Kevin Nash in all his glory out of the box, and there's the Build-A-Figure piece, and yeah, not way of it many as far as accessories goes. So you basically just get the figure, the hairpiece, and the microphone. So that's just basically all the accessories you're going to get out of that. Alright, so we got the figure out of his packaging, and I must say, the figure is a little overwhelming, to say the least. While I'm excited and happy to have the figure in the collection due because of the significance of it, but the aesthetics, especially when it comes to the hair pieces and stuff, it's a little weird looking. But yeah, so this is really the only accessory that it comes with. It's just the hair piece where you can just swap out the head, hair piece, the hat, and everything. So, like I said, there's not much to look at. It's just a hair piece. So, and then here's the figure itself. But yeah, so here's the shirt, the pants, and everything. And see, this is what I'm talking about. You get the WCW microphone. See, why couldn't they do that with the Skull Hall figure? That's my thing. It's like, oh, you could do this for this Kevin Nash figure, but you couldn't make it for the Skull Hall figure. Is it because we got all a buttload accessories and everything, and they didn't want to spend the extra penny to print out the logo for it? Because we got the alternative head sculpt and all that stuff. Crazy. But yeah, so but yeah, this is Kevin Nash when he came back to WCW. So there's the pants right here, and then they got the shirt. This is a regular black shirt, and then you got the hat. So this is what I'm saying. It looks a little weird how they had the hair swap with the hat and which is the regular hair. So it does look a little weird. So, but yeah, not much to it. Let's go ahead and take this shirt off so we can take a look at the tattoos and stuff. So, all right. So here's Kevin Nash shirtless. So here is the tattoos. So those look really cool. So there. Can't really tell what that is. And there's a dragon. So, but yeah, it's just a regular style body right there. Nothing new. But for whatever reason, my the torso or the hinge right here, it's like leans back. It's like really loose, So I don't know why it does that. So maybe I just needed to kind of straighten it out a little bit. But for whatever reason, when I got it out, he was just all hunched over, like hunched back like this. So it was looking weird. That's why I said it. It was kind of overwhelming just because of the way how everything was. And I think this piece right here, it was kind of like barely on. So, but now I've managed to kind of mash it down, so it does look a whole lot better like that. So it doesn't look as weird as it was when it first came out of the packaging. So. But yeah, it's like I said, when I first got it out of the packaging, it did look overwhelming because it was just the way it was like this, and the hat wasn't barely put on there all the way. So, but it looks better now. All right, so got his shirt back on and everything, so looks a lot better. Was able to keep the hat on correctly. So. But anyways, so as far as the way of articulation goes, the head goes side to side, up and down, not so much backwards because of the hair. And then you can look down a little bit. Of course, got the hinge at the shoulders, got the double elbows right there, and then the wrist right there, the hinge at the wrist, swivel right there, swivel at the waist, and then of course, his legs can go all the way out like that. And then you got the hinge at the thigh right there. And then you got the double knees. And then you got the ankles right there. Get the hinge at the ankles. Wow, didn't have that on the other figure. So and then that's about it. I don't think you can. Yeah, it's not because of the pants. So that's why they give you the hinge. So, but yeah. And then the details of the watch and everything. Not very much details, just like, it looks like it was, oh wow. You can actually remove the watch. I didn't realize that. So if you take that out, you could actually take the watch off if you wanted to. So, not expecting to see a whole lot of detail. But yeah, there's the detailed watch. It's not that bad, actually, really. That's really cool. I wasn't expecting all that. That's pretty neat. So yeah, but if you wanted to take the watch off, you know, you could do that. So, and then again, like I said about the microphone, you know, it's crazy. That's what they gave us. They just put the logo over the regular stuff, regular WWE microphone. That's just find it odd that they didn't do that with the Scott Hall figure. So I thought that was pretty weird. You know, trying to get this back in his hand. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a hair swap real quick. Let's go ahead and clear that up. Yeah, it goes pretty easy. Yeah, he's a bald Nash, you know. Alright. Let's see if we can't get his regular hair on. There we go. It's actually not that bad looking. I thought it was going to look kind of weird. But once you're able to press down on it and get it right, you know, where it needs to be, snug fit, it's actually not that bad. So, I do like it though. You can tell that's Kevin Nash, you know, with his regular hair. So, you could always get another one of these or get this particular head with the, and swap heads and stuff if you want to, all kinds of cool stuff. But this is how he made his second appearance, you know. And so yep, and he appeared, you know. All right, so let's do some comparisons. All right, so the first figure we're going to display him with next to is one of my first Kevin Nash figures I bought whenever old San Francisco toy makers had the license before Toy Biz. And so, don't know if this is one of the first or if it's the first, unless if it was the LGN style figures, which I don't really quite remember. But yeah, so this is the first Kevin Nash figure I got. You know, bought this at Toys R Us. I was meaning to get a Scott Hall one to go with him. Never did though. So, but yeah, that was the first figure I got of him, you know, in my collection at the time. And that had to be like, what, 98? Or something like that, 98? 97, 98? Maybe later on, I don't know. But anyways, so then the next figures we're going to display them with is I got a couple of Toy Biz figures that came out. So there's one with the Nash on it, and then let me bring this up right here. And then we got one with the NWO logo on there. So basically, same mold and everything, it's just different logo. So we got Nash and NWO logo right there on there. So yeah, these are pretty much the only Nash figures I got. And Scott, I don't have a diesel or anything like that. So, but I do need to get one. But the ones that I've seen, really don't care for them because they don't really look like Nash at all. So I might have to go back and get one of the old Jack specific ones if I can find one, you know. And of course, you can't have Hall without can't have Nash without Hall. So, but yeah, these are the two significant figures that are very important to me as far as my collection goes because of the kickstart of the NWO with these two guys. So very excited to finally have them in the collection. Well, I've had them in the collection. I'm just getting around to opening them up. But like I said, I wanted to share these figures with y'all in significance of the 30th anniversary of these particular figures and what it represents. 30 years of the NWO here in 2026, which started in 1996. So it was a great time to be alive back then, being a wrestling fan and everything. So anyways, let's go ahead and move him out the way. Bring in Nash right there. There's this little hairpiece right there. So, hope you all enjoyed this review. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this particular figure. And don't forget, words of wisdom. Buy what you love and not what you like, because you buy what you like, you always end up getting rid of it. And I will catch y'all later.